Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I see we have about 50 attendees already, so that's really wonderful. My name is Gina Davis, and I am an education program specialist and the professional development coordinator with Team Labor. I am really excited about this session this morning because I think this is a fabulous tool which can be utilized by any instructor, whether you're an ABE or ESL instructor. Something of note is you might see, we might post things in the chat for you to see, but you can respond within, okay, can you give me a second? You can respond within the questions panel. But without further ado, I'm going to kick it over to Rachel Riggs, and thank you so much, Rachel.
Yes, absolutely. Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel Riggs. Thank you guys so much for coming this morning. I'm going to be talking about EDPuzzle for adult ed. And I just want to give a little disclaimer that I started with EDPuzzle in March, and so I'm still getting to know it myself. As I'm going through, I really want you guys to maybe write down some questions, think about what you're going to do with it so that we can, when it's finished, do a little Q&A and really have you guys interact with it, and I'll explore it together because, like I said, I'm still getting to know it, but I'm just going to tell you what I've been doing with it, and hopefully we can all collaborate. So my name is Rachel Riggs. Right now I am teaching family literacy classes, a career pathways class that is to give people kind of an intro to the trades, and a multi-level beginner class. And I teach all of those for the adult education program at Frederick Community College. So EDPuzzle is a website, and it's basically a huge video library, but it also has a lot of ways that you can track what your students are doing on it and things like that. So what can you do with EDPuzzle? You can assign videos to your students. You can use their video library, or they also have a video editing where you can upload your own videos and edit them and share with your students. You can assess your students' understanding by embedding multiple choice or open-ended questions into your videos. And you can track your students' work. So you can create a classroom, and they have analytics where you can see how much time a student has spent watching your video. They'll give them a grade for the questions that they answered on your video, and so forth. And finally, it fits into some of the more popular instructional strategies that are out there right now. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit at the end. First, I would like to know from you guys, do you already use videos in your classroom? And if so, how do you use them? Where do you get them? So if you guys just want to go to there's a little question panel on the control panel. There's a little question section. If you guys want to put in the question section, do you use videos and how do you use them? And maybe even where do you get them from? So go ahead and do that. Oh, okay. People can't hear me.
Don't worry about it, Rachel. I think it's an audio connectivity issue, so I'll take care of that.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, sorry if you can't hear me. Well, you can't hear me, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so Nona said she uses YouTube a lot. Okay, good, Nona. Then EDPuzzle will be for you. Jamie Harris says mostly YouTube videos. Great. Autumn can hear me. That's great. Pam uses YouTube. Dana gets them from different areas on the web. Veronica uses Khan. Okay, and let's see, we have Nikki, who has been voicing over her PowerPoints and posting videos on her LMS. Nikki, you came to the right place this morning. Okay, Holly uses several YouTube videos, and we have people YouTube, various platforms, send people the link. Okay, Susan, good. You're gonna like EDPuzzle. Mary for grammar or pronunciation, YouTube, Khan, Math Antics. For math, good, Yvonne. I use the top 10 videos from mojo.com YouTube channel. YouTube, Khan Academy, YouTube. Okay, awesome. I'm seeing a lot of YouTube. Okay, you guys, this is gonna be great. I'm so glad that so many of you are already using videos, and a lot of you get them from YouTube, so you're gonna love EDPuzzle because it's going to give you just a little boost in your YouTube videos that you share with your students. So with EDPuzzle, there's a content library. You can choose your videos from a huge content library that includes YouTube, every video on YouTube, TED, so they have all of the TED videos, very organized and easy for you to access, National Geographic videos, Khan Academy. You can find videos that your institution is using. So there's actually a tab where you can click on your institution and see what other teachers are using. So big content library. And then you can also create and edit your own videos. So if you're on Zoom and you're recording your lessons, you can upload those as well to EDPuzzle. Why would you do that? We'll see in a minute. But you could also upload them from iMovie, YouTube, anywhere that you're making your own videos, you can upload them right into EDPuzzle. So how would you use the content library? So for the content library, if you're choosing from pre-made videos, you could maybe use them in a blended learning context where some of your classes online and some of it is in person. You could use them just for some interesting and authentic content for your class, just to give it that extra boost. Everything is tech now, so maybe you're trying to keep up with the times. You could assign more videos in your class, and you can also use it for differentiation. So let's say you have one student who is struggling with one concept, and you don't have a lot of time in your class to spend going over that concept because everybody else is already getting it. You could use EDPuzzle to go search that topic and assign a video specifically to that student. And then you can actually see how much time did they spend watching the video? Were they able to answer the questions that are in the video? And you can just use it to have a more targeted approach with your differentiation. How would you use your own videos? So let's say you want to use your own videos and upload them to EDPuzzle. You could do that for makeup classes. If you have a student who is absent, you could upload your Zoom recording and have them make up the class that way, because again, it'll track their time so you know whether they watched the video or not. You can do practice activities or games using your own videos if you want to create just kind of like a quick little practice activity, record it at home, and then send it out to your students. And finally, you can record videos that are not for public use. Now, please listen to me. I'm not trying to scam anybody here. I'm not a criminal. But like, for example, we use Ventures Presentation Plus in our program. And since we've gone online, it's a little more difficult for me to present those videos to the students because we're not in class where we can all watch them together. So what I've done is I've actually turned on Zoom, played the video and recorded the Zoom session, and then uploaded it to EDPuzzle so that they can watch those grammar videos. I don't have to spend as much time in class with all of us watching them together, but I can record those grammar videos that wouldn't be found on YouTube or something and get them out to my students a little easier. Of course, you know, be careful how you're doing that. Make sure you have permission and so forth. Like I said, I'm not trying to do anything criminal here. Okay, so I have from Pam, would that count as regular attendance if a student misses a class and then does EDPuzzle? Good question, Pam, and that is something you would have to ask on what your leadership says, but our students can get proxy hours for being on EDPuzzle. So they do get hours. If they miss a class, then they can get hours for the things that they're watching on EDPuzzle. Linda says, is this all free or do you have to buy a subscription? This is free. There is, of course, a pro version, and institutions, if you can talk to your leadership and get EDPuzzle approved and get the pro version, that's great. But if you want to just use it free, I think the limit is 20 videos. You can have 20 videos in your content library. So what you would want to do probably is assign videos and then delete them as students have already watched them, so that you can stay within that 20 video limit. Okay, so let's keep moving here. So this is what the basic dashboard looks like on EDPuzzle. And I want to point out a few things to you. So I did a search for algebra. I know we have some GED instructors in here who might be teaching algebra. I'm an ESL teacher, so I don't teach math, but I know algebra is a math concept, so I've got that going for me. So I want to show you here, Frederick Community College. You can see on my dashboard, it lets me access my institution. So I can see all of the videos that any of my fellow teachers at FCC have uploaded to EDPuzzle. Dana, I'll get to your question in just a minute. And then there's a tab for my content. So that's where I have saved videos either from the content library or I've uploaded videos myself. I can find all of my own videos there in my content. And then they have popular channels. So there's the EDPuzzle channel. There's the YouTube channel, Khan Academy. I know a lot of you are using that. National Geographic, TED Talks. There's all of those popular channels. So you can click on one of those tabs and kind of sift through whatever you want to see there. So once I click on a video, this is what it looks like. I wanted to show you some of the options you have here. So you're going to see you can edit the name, you can add questions or look at the questions. But over here, if you look at this panel, you can set a due date and then you can prevent skipping. I always prevent skipping because you don't want a student to start the video, skip to the end, and then they haven't actually watched the whole thing. So I always prevent skipping because I want them to get every little bit that's in there. And you can turn on or turn off closed captioning. So if you're an ESL teacher, that might be useful to you to be able to control whether or not they can read the closed captioning. If you're doing listening practice, maybe you don't want them to be able to read it. Or maybe you do want them to, you know, it depends, but it helps that you can have that control. And then of course you'll share the assignment. So some of the assessment features that are on EDPuzzle, you're able to embed these into the video so that as the student's watching the video, it actually pops up on their screen and they have to respond to the question or click continue if they want to keep going through the video. So first of all, we have multiple choice. I like the multiple choice because you can, students get quicker feedback because you can actually put which one is the correct answer so they can see right away, oh man, I got it right, or yay, I got it. I mean, oh man, I got it wrong, or yay, I got it right. And then it's also a little bit more scaffolding. You know, if they have options, it gives them a little more scaffolding to guide them. And then the cons to multiple choice are that there are limitations in their answers, and it takes longer to create the multiple choice questions because you have to develop them on your own and enter them in. So just some things to consider, but you know, any of these would be good just depending on what you're doing. Then there are open-ended questions that you can put in. So if you want to check writing or if you want to allow for them to have more creativity, maybe you're asking for their opinion on something, the open-ended questions are useful for that. The con to the open-ended questions is that that's a longer assessment process because you'll have to read all the responses. I mean, you guys are teachers, you knew that. And then you can also put notes in there. So notes are not really an assessment, but the notes are useful for a couple of things. You can help to prepare them for the next video segment. You know, you're about to learn blah, 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 pay attention. Or you can say, you know, take notes on this, or there's going to be a quiz on this, or memorize this. You know, you can just kind of alert them to important information. Or even at the end of the video, if you wanted them to move and do something else, like maybe go to Google Docs and write a summary about this video, then you could add that into the notes so that they know, okay, that's what I need to be doing right after I finish the video. So when you look at a video, you'll see this here, this little like upside down water drop, and that shows you what questions are already embedded into the video. So I know here, this is a video someone else created, but it comes already with 12 questions. So I can view those questions and I can add my own or do whatever I want to manipulate the questions that are already in the video. But it does help. I love to find videos that have already been created, already have some questions. I look at the questions, I think, oh, these are good, I'll use this. you know, it saves us time. As teachers, we don't have that much time. So anything that can save us time is just amazing. Okay, so Vaishali, I hope I pronounced that correctly. She asks, can we access other ESL teacher video libraries? Yes, you can. So in the video library, there's already tons of stuff for ESL, just in the EDPuzzle content library. But then also, if you're teaching in an ESL program and other teachers in your institution are using EDPuzzle, you can use some of their videos. I mean, you guys could really collaborate and say, hey, Mary, can you make some videos on maybe the work unit for beginner, and I'll make some videos on this unit for beginner, and then we can share our videos. I mean, it's really a great tool. Erin said she can't see my screen. I'm sorry, Erin. I'm not sure why you wouldn't be able to see it. Okay, so here are some examples of what was already in this video. So I just clicked on that little upside down water drop, and I can see there's a note here. So he's indicating, please write each vocabulary word in your notebook. Like I said, that's a good way to use notes if you want them to do something in a different location. And then a multiple choice question. And then there's also, this is a different video. He didn't have any open-ended questions. So this is a different video that I actually created with the Ventures Presentation Plus, and I put in an open-ended question. I wanted them to fill in the blank with the correct form of the present simple. The good thing also about open-ended questions is that there's no character limit. So if you do want them to write a summary or something a little bit longer, you can do that in EDPuzzle. You know, be forewarned, they'll probably be doing this on their phone, so I don't know that you would want them to write an entire essay. It's also difficult for them. They can't save it or edit it at a later time. So think about those things, but it does help that there's no character limit and they can kind of free flow and do as much as you as the teacher want them to do. Okay, and then we have tracking. So EDPuzzle gives you some great ways to track what your students are doing, and that's really the benefit here. We can find videos easily. Definitely the questions and stuff, that's an added benefit, but the tracking is what gives us just so much more control over what our students are doing with the videos that we assign to them. So you can create a classroom, you can create a new classroom. It can be an open classroom. If you're not interested in having as much information about what your students are doing, you can make it an open classroom. Or you can sync it with an LMS. So I have mine synced with Google Classroom for the classes that I use Google Classroom with. Some classes I don't use Google Classroom, so I have just created a classroom in EDPuzzle. And then time, you can see how much time, like I said, how much time they spent on the video as a whole and how much time they've spent on each section. It will actually break it down into sections and tell you, you know, they rewatched this section, you know, so many times and spent this much time on it. That's really helpful because it gives you an idea of, okay, if they rewatched this so many times, why? Are they struggling with the technology? Or are they struggling with the actual concept? And then you can address that directly with your students. For us, like I said, we use it for proxy hours, so my students do get credit for the time that they've spent on EDPuzzle, and use it to check their understanding. Like I said, if you see that they're repeating this over and over again, and then even after that they've gotten the question wrong, well, something's going on there. So we need to figure out why can't they understand that, or what's missing. And then it also gives you grades. It will give you grades per assignment and a total grade. I don't use the grade, so I'm not going to speak too much on that, but if you're interested in, you know, having that as part of your instruction, it is helpful, I'm sure, for some. So I'm going to show you here what I have. This is what you see when a student has watched a video. So you see I have a couple of different videos here. Now, Karina was in class for many of the lessons, it's just so she didn't watch those lessons, like this makeup class here. She watched the lesson on past modals and she got a score of 100 because she got all of the questions correct. She spent only 6 minutes watching that video. She probably watched it all the way through. And then her score is 33 out of 100. Like I said, I don't use the grades, so it doesn't really matter. This doesn't matter to me. But if it matters to you, then it's helpful. And then I also don't, for my students, it's more like, especially those who are attending regularly, it's like, if you want to watch this, then watch it. If not, then don't. So you see that she didn't watch a lot of them, and you know, that's fine with me. That's how I'm using it right now. Like I said, it's pretty new, so I'm still getting a feel for it. And then if I click on Karina's name, this is what I see. I can see the due date, and then I can see the videos here. I can see the time spent. If the due date has passed, it will show up red with a little clock like that. If there's no due date, it's just gray. And then if they've completed it, you'll see a score and it'll be green. So some of the instructional strategies that this works well with, it works well with a flipped classroom. So if you want to have students get the information and the presentation part of class outside of class and then do the practice and application in class, that's essentially what a flipped classroom is. It's part of blended learning. Then this is really useful because you can assign that to them. You know if they've watched it or not. Obviously, a student who hasn't watched it is going to come to class ill-prepared to practice and apply what they've learned. So it does help you kind of prepare for that if there's a student who hasn't watched the video. And then again, like I said, differentiation, you can assign different videos. So for that student that you just saw, I actually created a separate classroom for her called academic writing because she's very advanced and she wanted something more challenging and she wants to eventually be able to get her degree. So I created a classroom for her called academic writing, and I've assigned her videos on how to cite sources and just those things that you would cover more in like an academic class because she can't attend academic classes right now because she doesn't have childcare. So it just gives you an opportunity to really focus on students and provide something that's directed toward them without having to spend that much time in class trying to do that. So very useful. Okay, so I want to show you guys a couple things. EDPuzzle has a lot of great resources for those of you who want to learn how to use it. So I don't know everything about EDPuzzle. I've been very honest with you this whole time about that. So I wanted to show you other places that you can go if you want to learn more. Now I'm going to a different tab on my computer. Sorry, I have so many tabs open. Let me know in the questions real quick. Can you see where I am? Can you see the Help Center? Okay, you can see it, great. All right, good. So if you go to the Help Center, they have a really thorough Help Center. Some of it is geared toward not adult education, like obtaining parental consent. So some of it won't be applicable, but it gives you really great instructions on how to do a lot of stuff. Create your video lessons. What types of questions can I add? How do I cut a video? How do you assign a video? How do you manage your classes? Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys the Help Center. It's very, very thorough. If you have more technical questions, that would be the place to go. I do want to take all of your questions, but I just want you to know that that's there and that's beyond what I can provide you in this short time. So another thing I wanted to show you are these certifications. Okay, where'd they go? The certifications, EDPuzzle provides tons of training, and they call them certifications. Let me just do a search here. Okay, there we go. What are the EDPuzzle coach and certification programs? So they provide a lot of PD. Oh, that's not really what I wanted. Let me see. Okay, they provide a lot of PD, a lot of different courses, and it's all in like this great central location that of course I can't find. Maybe this is it. Oh, this is spread the word. Okay, I will send you guys definitely that link when we finish, but there's all kinds of, this isn't it, there's all these buttons. You can get certified in how to use EDPuzzle for a flipped classroom, how to differentiate with EDPuzzle, lots of different topics that go beyond just how do I use EDPuzzle, but go more into what instructional strategies can I use with EDPuzzle. So Gina will help me get that link out to you guys, and I think it's very useful. Now I want to see how can you use EDPuzzle? So has this revealed anything to you that you thought, oh wow, in my class I could do with EDPuzzle? How will you guys use it? Go ahead and put in the questions. I'm going to read out some ideas that we have here. How can you use EDPuzzle? Are you GED? Are you ESL? What will you do with it? What do you like about it? What do you want to know more about? Okay, Nikki has another question. You mentioned students using this on the phone. In your experience, can students navigate viewing the video and responding easily? Great question, Nikki. I did struggle with this at the beginning. You definitely have to, what I did was I did it myself and took a bunch of screenshots to show the students. I would definitely recommend doing that so you kind of know how to instruct them. But my students did get stuck when the questions popped up because you have to answer and then click continue. So just make sure they know that that's going to happen and how to get through it. So it also helps when you see how many times they've repeated a section. So like with one of my students, Sandra, she had repeated the section so many times. So I reached out to her and I said, Sandra, is everything okay with EDPuzzle? And she said, what do I do when the question comes up? So that's why she kept watching it, because she was trying to figure out how to keep going. So that it helps to see that. Okay, I love the flipped classroom concept. Will make ESL class time more meaningful. Good, I'm glad you like that. Raquel is going to use it to differentiate ESL, differentiation for a multi-level class. Awesome. Pronunciation practice, Vince, I know you're uploading there. From pronunciation. I hope you'll make those public so that we can all use your videos. No will assign homework. Great. Linda said this has been great. She's looked at it before, but it was overwhelming, and now you have a better understanding. I'm so glad. Do I know if it can be used in Canvas? I'm not sure. I would have to check. I know it can be synced with Google Classroom because that's what I do with it. We'd have to check into that. Or if somebody else knows, please put that out. I could see using it for GED workshops. Awesome. I'm looking for ways to reach my students who don't have computer access. This is a great way, I'm telling you. They can sign in with Google too, so if they have Gmail, it will be easy for them to get in. Great for a GED class, good, I'm glad. Yes, Carolina, adding questions, I love that part. Good, Letitia. Yes, using it for retention. If a student misses a class, they can catch up. They won't feel so behind. I've used it so much, especially right now. We're forcing everybody to get online. They're working. They have kids at home. I think it's so important to provide something for them if they're not able to make it for those live classes. Differentiation, great. Oh, Angel posted the link. Okay, great. So the link for the certifications is go.edpuzzle.com/certifications. Go.edpuzzle.
I just put it in the chat box for everyone to access.
Oh, Gina, you're the best.
Thank you.
Okay, Darlene likes that it tracks time for proxy hours. Yes. Good, Shauna. Shauna is going to incorporate questions into math antics, assigning differentiated independent work. That's great. Can you save your videos to your computer in case you want to use them later? No, you cannot do that. You can use your videos that are on your computer, upload them to EDPuzzle, but once you start adding questions and stuff, you will not be able to get those same questions and things onto your computer. So, no, in short. Do students need an account? Yvonne, they do need an account. Unless it's an open class. I haven't done as much with the open classes. I think you might not need an account for an open classroom. So you might want to look into open classrooms, but luckily they can sign in with Google, so that I think is useful. Xavier used it when he taught in Central America, and now he uses it for Teacher PD, but this session has remotivated me to invite teachers to join me in creating a collection of videos. Yes, I think that's a great idea. Have teachers collaborate so that we're not all creating the same video on the same unit or the same topic. Have teachers collaborate. It would be so great if you could just have that available to your institution. Okay, Veronica can't wait to get off this webinar so she can go to the website. Thanks, Veronica. No, I get it. Go play with it and have fun. Shauna says, can students still access the videos after the due date? Good question, Shauna. I'm not sure about that. Look into that. Another thing is that I have actually emailed EDPuzzle my questions at times, and they're very responsive. So if you're not finding it in that help center, reach out to them and they'll respond quickly and thoroughly. Okay, Autumn. Okay, Autumn signed up for an account and they sent her a verification email and it was in her spam folder. So just in case anybody has that problem. Thank you, Autumn. Angela, good luck with it. Okay, great feature for collaborative learning in ESL. Sherry wants to know, is EDPuzzle approved for proxy hours by the state of Maryland? It must be because it is for Frederick Community College, but I think there's probably more to that. Gina, if you want to weigh in on that, let me know.
Sure, your program just has to put together the proxy form and justify the usage of it, and then it can be approved.
Okay, great. Can you use Essential Ed with EDPuzzle? If anyone wants to weigh in on that, I haven't done that yet. So if anybody else knows, let me know. If not, Glenn, I would encourage you to go research it. Okay, Angel says it's reasonable for a pro license if administrators are interested. Thank you, Angel. I just got the email that our institution got the pro license, so that's really exciting. We have unlimited content available now. Okay, thank you guys so much. I think those are all the questions. Let me put up my contact information if you have any more questions or if you have ideas, please. I always want to collaborate. So send me your questions and thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Have a great
Thank you so much, Rachel. This has been really wonderful. I think it's a really valuable way, especially in our current situation on reaching students when you're not physically present with them and ensuring that they are actually participating. So thank you so much for this today. If everyone can go to the chat and respond to the feedback survey that I had put in there, it gives us an opportunity to review how we're doing in these training institutes and then continue to provide content. If you liked this or if we need to tweak it, we're happy to do that. But thank you again, Rachel. We really, really appreciate your time. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day.
Yeah.